A starter Gemma2 Frostcore build guide for campaign in Season 10 Overrealm. And to give a better idea on what build can do on a fresh account and fresh character without pets, I did progress still timer 7 without using Trade House. Let's talk about how I managed to do that and what's coming next. If you're looking for more information or for a written build guide, check the description. I'm leaving a link to a doc file where you can find all the written build guides for Gemma2. First of all, I need to clarify that I was playing without pets till Timer 3, because after finishing Timer 3, new account gets a reward for the first battle pet, which increases curse effect. Not to mention, all of the crystals that comes from the achievements, path of progression and outlaw event, which I didn't use. To put it simple, even with heavily handicapped experience, this build was more than enough. Pact Spirit page looks like this. 1 battle pet for curse effect and some multipliers for damage and weakens the cursed enemies, and 2 drop spirit pacts. Both increases additional flame fuel drop quantity. With that out of the way, let's go into the active skills. And this is the main idea of this build. We want to use 2 active frost cores. That means double the damage. All of the links are basically added in the priority. Early, you kind of want to have it like this. You don't want to use control spell too early in the campaign. You want to use freeze chance instead. This is how it would look like. 1 frost core, another one. I don't have enough energy to equip a 6 link, but you would like to equip it the same like it is in here. I chose to go grudge for some paralyze effect to increase the damage taken, which means that the second frost core is meant for a debuff. Frigid transmission, really simple, movement ability. Just remember every time we freeze, we reset the skill cooldown. Biting Cold is a curse for additional cold damage. Mana Boil is for damage increase, for additional spell damage. You can also use something like Fixate. You can also use something like Secrets of Origin if we are running some Focus Blessing. I did by default went to Mana Boil. I like it the most, and it's less complicated. Using something like Ice Bond is not really viable because it's a sentry and it's gonna remove one of the frost cores or 2 frost cores, because by default, with this specific setup that I have, I spawn 2 sentries by default. For the passive skills, I'm running Swiftness for movement speed, even though it's absolutely useless. You would like to run something like Magical Source if you are having some mana problems. Rejuvenation is again for some life regeneration, but I don't really have a better choice. If you don't need neither of those, you could remove both and instead pick up something like Ice Focus and run only 3 passives. For the second passive, I have Spell Amplification, which is really important, and Frigid Domain, which is another cold damage, additional cold damage increase. I'm running no candles, as I said. Not using Trade House, and candles are going to be removed in the upcoming season. No reason to do those. It's a very ethical build in here. With that out of the way, let's go into talents. God of Machines. On the first main talent, we want to pick up Sentry. On the second, we want to pick up Overly Modified. This is how the talent looks like. We want to go for the damage, then into Duration plus Projectile Speed, into additional damage if not used in last second, and then Sentry's skill cast frequency, which is basically attack speed or cast speed for the sentries. Second one is Artisan. Again, more damage, more frequency, additional sentry start time, which basically means that the sentry starts attacking faster whenever we spawn it. There is a little bit of delay between the first attack after the spawn, so this one reduces that delay. Sentry's skill cast frequency for more attack speed, and the Sentry Legendary Medium talent is important because this one allows us to remove the Sentry modification from as a Sentry support and save a little bit of damage. This is what I mean. If you don't have that modifier, we need to run Sentry modification. This one allows us to deploy 1 extra Sentry. Prophet is the third talent tree. By default, go Frostbitten. Frostbitten is a lot of frostbite increase on dealing the cold damage for the first time, which means more multi-target damage in some sense. In here, again, more damage. You can always pick up more defense if you're feeling like you are dying too much, but most likely you are dying too much because you don't do enough damage. No cap. After that, I went for some freeze duration and additional damage against frozen, then chance to gain focus blessing. And I started doing some intelligence because I needed 24th point to unlock the frostbitten. Lich is in here for the sealed mana compensation. Of course, starting with damage, then some mana cost. After we get this minus skill cost, you should be able to remove the mana regeneration passive. I picked up all of the sealed mana compensations, so I would be able to equip those 2 good passive auras for the damage. And now I'm working towards all skill levels. I'm only 22 points, but at 24 points, I want to pick up Off the Beaten Track. With this main talent, we want to use as many supports on the passives, as every single support is basically gonna increase or decrease the sealed mana reserves. It's only gonna be for the better. Whenever you pick up that main talent, you want to unlock extra slots and pick up something like Aura Amplification on every single one that you can. Divinity Slates are rough. I basically have nothing. I'm running whatever I dropped. That means I get this is the only sentry damage slate I have. Wait, how about this one? Yeah. This is basically the only thing I get damage from. Basically, I'm running no Divinity Slates. That would mean only one thing. If you're using Trader House, there is so much more damage to pick up. But before talking about that, let's go and see what items I'm running. And to put it simple, I'm still running legendaries that I dropped during the campaign. Overrealm for attack speed, projectile speed, movement speed, and all stats, which was a really nice upgrade. Right now it's on the breakpoint to being useless. Installation, it's for lightning damage to attacks and spells. It's a flat damage, but it's a decent amount of damage, so this works pretty nice. And of course I have Grace Boots to generate focus blessings, but because I have that talent node that I picked up to generate focus blessing, whenever I inflict freeze, it's kinda useless as of now. Yep, chance to gain one focus blessing upon inflicting freeze. But I didn't drop any upgrade, so I kept using those. But this would be a good time to switch those. All of the other items that I have, I basically only focused on as much energy. Because energy is a big damage increase if we can unlock as many supports as possible. With that in mind, I went for intelligence, damage multiplier, a little bit of max life, anything that gives damage, or anything that gives a little bit of survivability. And it's true for every single item. I basically did not craft very minimal. I did like 2 clicks to have all 6 modifiers on the items that I can have. Gloves, I even low level. I can't even craft the suffix, right? Oh, I can. Erosion resistance, let's go. And for the chest, exactly the same idea. Anything that I can craft or anything that I get on my first craft. Same goes for the weapon. The only thing, what I'm doing, is that I'm trying to look for a decent base so I wouldn't need to craft every single one. In this case, I dropped a good base with a lot of intelligence. And intelligence craft is good damage, but at the same time is really expensive to do. So if you drop a good weapon with like intelligence roll, because it's advanced ethics, you can craft on that base to try to craft a decent one to gain quite a bit of damage. But as you can see, I really tried to get as much energy. I was using a lot of energy cores to reroll those into a little bit higher values. And this would be basically the build. Like, there is nothing else that I'm running that gives me any type of damage or anything else. As you can see, I'm running 17 pact points that I can't even allocate because I have no pact spirits to add. But funny thing was, this was enough to complete Time Arc 6, and right now I'm in Time Arc 7. It was not as fast at the end of Time Arc 6, especially on the Watcher bosses. I was starting to lack a little bit of damage, but it makes sense. I didn't bought a single piece of equipment. If you are using the trading house, there is quite a few cheap upgrades to pick up that shouldn't cost that much at the start of the season. The first one would be Marksman Bracers. This is mainly multi-target damage, but also when we get 2+2 jumps on the gloves, we can remove the jump support and pick up something that gives us more single target damage. You could switch this to something like Elemental Fusion, or any of the added damages, even projectile penetration, even slow projectile, if you are not scaling with projectile speed. There is many options and you can use any. Even though I would say it's not necessary, I would keep the jump. The second item is Blind Vision. It adds the support Blind Projectile to the main skill. That means we already saved one support, which we can change to any other support that gives us damage. And also, it enables projectile speed bonus is also applied to projectile damage. So this is a really nice interaction on the helmet that is easy to get early in the game, or easy to buy from the trade house. With this, your damage is gonna skyrocket. And with that in mind, that we scale from projectile speed, you kinda want to get as much projectile speed as possible. And the easiest source to do that is gonna be Battle Pack Spirits. A blue Battle Pack Spirits that has projectile speed modifier. Otherwise, projectile speed can come from the talent passives or Divinity Slates. Also, if you don't have this helmet, but you still want to scale from the projectile speed, there is a necklace called Howling Wind. And this one gives a talent that does exactly the same as the helmet, it's just that it's always 60%. With this one, you can also start to scale or get additional scaling from projectile speed. With that, there is definitely more legendaries, but I want to keep this like as friendly as possible for the new players, and so you wouldn't need to spend too much and still progress through Timemark 7. For the Divinity Slates, there is many options. Any Divinity Slate is good as long as it gives you damage. Even there is so many general damage multipliers like +9 damage, or like cold damage, or just damage in general. So you can buy and equip any. If you're looking for sentry specific, you want to go into God of Machines and then look any sentry related affix or modifier. And there is a lot of those for the God of Machines Divinity Slates. Any of this is going to increase your damage by quite a bit. And I think this is where I'm going to stop the video. If you're looking for more information, check the written guide. I have a little bit more provided in there, as I want to keep video as short as possible. But for now, GG's, bye-byes, and if you have any questions, ask them on YouTube comments or find me when I'm live streaming, and see you in Season 10 Overrealm. Bye-byes.